Okay. What was I thinking here? Imaginary. So I just saw it now, and um, it's a movie. I can see my grandma. I can hear her saying, this movie finishes, and she says, a shitty movie, garbage movie. I can hear her saying that. Yeah, garbage film. Um, no, it's. I mean, it's. I guess, going into it, I wasn't expecting much. Like, was thinking it was gonna be shitty, maybe shitty good at least. And I like it better than Night Swim. I guess I could say that. It's. I like that the dad. So he's from England, right? And I guess maybe he's went on tour or something. And he's in the film, but he doesn't really, like, even when he's, I guess, working, like, he comes home every day from work, he's not really present much. And then he goes on his, like, tour or something. He even tells her, like, hey, I can postpone the tour if you want. um but she's like, no, it's okay, it's a good opportunity to get acquainted with the girls, because, like, I'm the new stepmom, right? And because their real mom, she's not dead, but she's, like, I guess she's insane, she's mentally insane. And there's even a scene where, the little girl Alice is having a tea party, and there's movement in the background, and so we're thinking, like, oh, it's the entity, but no, it's just, what do you call, it's their mom, their mama, because, like, fucking, oh my god, I don't even remember what her name was, the adolescent, right, the teenager girl, she was texting the mother beyond, like, unannounced to dad. And so she came to their house to see her daughter at the tea party, but she's crazy, so she's like, no, you can't have her there with you. It's I like the scene, when the tea party in the apartment, like, her old room in their apartment in New York, and she's having a tea party, and she's like, why would I want to leave? I have everything I ever want here. And, like, mom is there, like, mom Chonzi takes the form of mom, because, of course. And she's like, even both of my moms are here. And she's like, both. She looks around, and it's her mom, but it's like, yeah, that has to be Chonzi, like, come on, like, who else would that be standing there? And so, and she's, I like that Chonzi, I don't know, Chonzi kills that old lady like nothing, right? Kills that bitch, because, of course, someone needs to die in the movie. There needs to be some sort of violent death, I guess, so that happens. But then it's like, well, what the fuck? I mean, they were putting the blue, making the door. So I guess when you're inside the imaginary world, you just put blue, square on the wall, and that makes the door. Apparently that's how it works, I guess. And it's like, but they're doing this in front of Chonzi, and Chonzi doesn't do anything. Chonzi just stands there and looks at this happening. I like when they go through the door, and then she falls under, right? She stabs him. I guess he says him. I guess it's him, right? It's a male entity, but it could, like, she fucking, I don't even remember what her name is, but she stabs Chonzi in the face. She falls through, I guess, what, the clouds or something, but not the clouds, because, and she, like, hurts her ankle, and but then she looks like she goes through, but then we get a scene, and we think, like, okay, this is after the fact, and she's at the nursing home reading Dada's story. Which I guess maybe Chonzi made a fake door on the ground, and that was fake when she went through, maybe. And so it's gonna be real interesting listening to Fish Jelly's review of this, their analysis, their take on this film, Imaginary. Again, I didn't go in this thinking it would be amazing, and I guess maybe it delivered exactly what you'd think it would be. It's the theater for this was packed, and I think maybe it's like a nice sleeper film, or, like, to kill time, let's watch this shitty horror film. It's I was gonna see maybe Cabrini. So do I want to go for something inspirational and powerful, or do I want to go for a shitty movie? And I chose a shitty movie in the end. And I guess, hey, it's funny. It has some funny moments. The ladies, there's two moms sitting next to me. They were funny. There's a scene where the kid, he doesn't really amount to anything. It kind of sucks. like right off the bat, I guess he's a bad influence type kid, and like the girl, like I mean, the movie follows these tropes. So you see the adolescent, right? You get like, oh, she's moody, right? And like the mom's sitting next to me and said, yeah, she's a teenage girl, so it's very typical. But like it's almost like the character is written so one dimensional. I guess she just has to be moody and like angsty and ugh, you know, like having that attitude, and so yeah, it's you know, she comes out the house because the old lady's like looking. She takes a picture, sees her, comes out. He sees her, and of course, like I was like, it's a love. There's gonna be a little love plot thing. Right? It's just like Night Swim. In Night Swim, they had the same thing where there's like the first guy to talk to the girl, and she's already heads over heels type situation type thing. It follows that same script as Night Swim, right? And she even brings her over to the house. But in this one, she gets caught doing it. In Night Swim, she doesn't get caught, right? In Night Swim, actually, I don't think anything even evolves from that scene in Night Swim. I don't think it really even goes anywhere, actually. Yeah. It's shitty, just like Night Swim. I'll tell you that. It's a garbage movie, just like Night Swim. It has a really slow build up, right? And like the entity, I guess only towards the end, like it has a slow build up, and then it kind of feels ridiculous at the end. It's we got to the imaginary scene, I was thinking like Beetlejuice. I was like, what if we did this film a little differently? I'm gonna see, maybe like when I watch that Fish Jelly review, I'm curious, maybe they're gonna catch is where they could have did this instead. Maybe not make it. Maybe it's like horror sort of subplot, but it's not horror main. It's kind of comedic and silly, and maybe it could have been like Beetlejuice, this film, where how do you call so we get like early on we get introduced to this imaginary world, and they're in there and they're doing wacky weird shit, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the build-up is slow for it, right? Which is like, it feels typical. It feels like that's so what do you call it? To be expected, right? Another movie I remember, well, Megan, I did enjoy Megan a bit more. I remember that one. That one was kind of silly too. Maybe they should have gone a more Megan approach, where it was just kind of silly. Like, I don't know, I want to say it's hard. It's like a silly black comedy type film ish. It's dumb. Maybe they should have, maybe because this film, they're like, it wants to, I guess I think it's fair to say it wants to be a little more serious with the vibe, you know, kind of. But maybe they should have gone the Megan route and just make it kind of dumb and silly and just like out there with what it's trying to do. The acting in the film, I think the acting is subpar. I don't know, like there are moments where she's oh daddy, stop, you're hurting my arm. It's I don't recognize any of the actors, and it feels appropriate that you don't recognize any of the actors, because like I don't know, they just, and when the little girl speaks, like sometimes when little kids speak in the movies, it almost sounds fake. But I'm not around a bunch of kids, right? I'm not around kids like that, so I don't know, maybe they really do sound like, oh, Chelsea said that you're not allowed to touch my stuff. Like, I don't know. The way that it's communicated, the way it's said, that the little girl actress, Alice, it just sounds like so by the scripts. We find out in the film that Jonesy, the bear shape, only the... Oh, Jessica, that was her name. Only Jessica sees the bear, right? No one else sees this bear. And so that's like a gimmick there, because like this lady comes over, this doctor, I guess she's a psychiatrist, and it seems like there's a history, like Alice has had this psychiatrist, I'm guessing she's a psychiatrist, I don't know, but she's had this like medical lady come before and do like an assessment on her. So it's like maybe like oh, it's like an old friend coming to visit again. And so, you know, and she's the one who tells about the entity spirit, and this is where we learn like, oh, the bear, you know, the stuffed bear. And she's like, what stuffed bear? There was no stuffed bear. And she's pretending to pick up something, but there's nothing she's picking up, and that's when we learn only Jessica can see it, because Jonesy is actually Jessica's like entity, like imaginary friend. But then they had like well, I mean, they give us backstory on this, which it's And the old lady, so I don't know when the old lady comes into play with this. The old lady, I guess she was her nanny, that's true, but then she talks about like, oh, you begged me to go with you to like the imaginary world with Jonesy, but I didn't because I was too scared. But then we see in this flashback from Jessica that her dad went into the sorry about that. Had a yawn there. But her dad went in there with her. So I'm thinking maybe that part, like she was her nanny, but that part about going in with her was a lie, I'm thinking, because, and maybe that was just to tell, she told her that so she could say, oh yeah, well come with me then, because we're gonna go back now, come with me now. And we find out that Jonesy put her up to it. But then Jonesy like completely double crosses her. Jonesy maybe could have used her, you know, like she could have like two bit, like me and this bitch versus these two. And, you know, come try find out, you gotta get through us. But no, Jonesy kills her. Maybe Jonesy's confident in its ability to kill them. Although Jonesy seems to take a sweet time with them, obviously, right? Plot armor. But yeah, so he kills her and I guess he eats her and or something. It's oh, it's just like, I like the scene where, what was it? The kid. So the kid, the boy, I don't even remember what his name was. But she invites him over to the house, and he's got the pill in the mouth. I remember that. He's got the pill in the mouth, and then he's got a bag with them. And they're not maybe it's like a placebo effect. I'll act high, I'll pretend, I'll give her one, and because we find out for the mom later when they get caught and stuff that fucking what was it? It's her allergy medication, right? The mom looks at it because Jessica says to his mom, oh, she's trying to give, like, he's trying to give, you know, my daughter Molly, and she's like, oh, it's my allergy medication, actually. But yeah, so he pops one in, and like when he's on the couch and he's like kind of restless, like nothing's happening, and he tells her like, oh hey, did you like, are you sure you don't want to pop one? You sure you don't want one of these? And she's like, no, I'm good. I just want to watch the movie. And the movie's it's that Love Zombie movie, which is like, oh, that's cool. It's a copyright film within a film. Wonder how that works, right? You have to pay for like you to see that clip right there, the image. But yeah. So and then you know he sees like the dad's like liquor collection, and so he's like, oh, how about a drink? Yeah, let's do that. So he goes to grab it, and she's like, no, don't touch it, because he's gonna know. I guess she knows her father well. He's gonna know that it's been tampered with. I know he's gonna notice a difference. Okay, don't touch it. But he touches it anyway, and then he drops the bottle, it breaks, and so she's like, you know, she's pissed, and she just tells him, go upstairs, get towels, just go get towels, go. So he does that. He goes upstairs to get towels, and he's pissing. Well, like, he goes around the rooms and stuff, and Jonesy's working his magic, I guess. But yeah, there's this, I guess probably the funniest scene, and we got some commentary from the moms with that scene, because he's urinating, and and then he sees, like, the loop, the little string thing, like from Woody has in Toy Story, right? You pull the string, and it's Jonesy on the blanket, and he's like, whoa, oh, and he spills some pee over the edge of the toilet. It's like, fuck. It's and the mom's like, he doesn't bother to clean it up, and one of the moms said, why aren't you gonna clean it up? Oh, you're just gonna leave it there? Oh my god, no. And then with the towels, he just wipes his hand on the towel. Oh my god. And people in the crowd, oh ew, come on. And the mom, one of the moms, oh, because they were funny. I'm so glad I sat next to them. They were funny. But one of the moms just had to say, like, like, oh, come on, please wash your hands. At least do that courtesy. Shit. You didn't even do that. And then, you know, so you don't wash it. And then Jonesy's doing his magic. And we get the scene in the trailer where he turns into a bear and it just scares him. And how do you call, but Jonesy doesn't eat him or anything. He just scares him. I don't know. Yeah. I guess maybe Jonesy can only kill you in the imaginary world. Maybe that's why Jonesy has to take you to their imaginary world. Like he can only kill you in his imaginary world. And unless you go there, yeah, they just can't do anything to you. Is it? Maybe that's why. Josie want. Like, Josie is hungry for the kid. I'm guessing that they eat the kids. Maybe it's like, oh, what's that called? The wild things? Where the wild things are? Because I think it also was like the similar imaginary friend. They're monsters, and the kid goes to like join them and have adventures. But then we learn, and I think it's based off a book too, that they eat the kids at some point. Or it's like Robin Hood, right, where he kidnaps the kids, but he only likes kids, and so after a certain point, the kids being there, or like when they get to a certain age, because like I don't think there's any adolescents. I guess when they turn 13, he eats them, or he kills them. He kills and eats them. I don't fucking know. But yeah, the dad saves her, right? Jessica's dad saves her from the first encounter with Jonesy, and I guess apparently you look in Jonesy's eyes. This is a funny thing. I'm even gonna scene where Jonesy like looks. He's looking into Alice's eyes, and he starts playing like footage. He plays footage like in his eyeballs, and I guess that's supposed to like hypnotize you or something. I don't fucking know. But and then there's like Jessica's like, no, like Jess, like no, not Jessica, like the teenage girl. She's like telling Jessica like, don't look into Jonesy's eyes, like don't look into them, because she remember like what was said about like the eyeballs, like don't look in the eyes because then they can hypnotize you or some shit. But then it looks like she's looking, but then she's looking into the eyes too. So then she's getting fucked herself. But the little girl is there, Alice is there, and Alice is like, she's not looking into anything, but she sees the kerosene or oil, whatever the fuck it was, flammable oil. I mean, you get the gist when it falls, like, oh, maybe it's like flammable liquid. Now she's gonna like light the fire. I was thinking, oh, maybe she lights the fire and she lights Jessica on fire too. Like, fuck. But no, it only lights Jonesy on fire, and Jonesy's... So I guess Jonesy feels pain, and then so Jonesy retreats into the imaginary world. It gets shut. It's done. That's where it's done for real. Because, oh, this is also a funny thing. So yeah, the first time that it turns out that, oh no, Jessica's still trapped in like Jonesy's imaginary world, they have this gimmick with the eyeball. They look like fucking alien eyeballs. I'm trying to remember... There was a meme with like some alien with the eyeballs that poke out. Oh, Scary Movie. That's what it reminded me of. It just looks silly. It looks hacky. They're these big bulgy and they stick out. They look silly. They look dumb. It reminded me of the aliens from Scary Movie. and oh my god, it's hilarious. It's fucking funny. It's so yeah, that's a thing, right? Where everybody be talking like they're talking normally, and then you look away, you look towards, and they're like, talk like this, just stay here and we will make sure everything's okay. And they like, the demonic sounding voice thing, and the eyes sticking out the way they do, all black, looking like an alien. Oh, it's a funny fucking movie. It's the thumbnail for Jellyfish, for Fish Jelly's thumbnail. That's what it is. Fish Jelly's thumbnail for this film. Their review of this film. I can see it on their faces. What is this shit? Holy shit. What is this? Actually, I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I saw this movie. Probably Cabrini would probably be playing still. It's the only other film that's playing the theater. I think there was maybe another one that looked sort of promising, but like, yeah, it's the only other film that would like, okay, I actually would care to see this. And yeah. I guess that's really all I have to say about it. Would I say it's shitty bad? I don't know. That's a big call, because I mean, I'm laughing, so I guess it's fair to say shitty bad, because I am laughing with it. It was kind of silly. Like I said, it's a slow burn though. Like, it kind of takes a while, and for me, I get the undertone. Even though we're laughing at some scenes, like, it wants to be serious. I don't think it's not like Megan. Like, for me, like, what I recall watching Megan, maybe I'll do a Megan review. Like, fuck it, let's do a review of Megan, right, too. But when I was watching it, I was just thinking to my head, that it's silly. This movie is silly. This one, I feel like maybe it wanted to be a little more serious at times, but then you get to the end, maybe it's like they listen, fuck it, whatever. This is already a shit movie. Night Swim was worse, though. I think Iceland was even more trash than this one. So I'll give it that. I'll give it that. Nice Swim was complete garbage. This one was a little better. It was a little better. It's a little better trash. Still, it's garbage. It's a garbage movie. It's not good at all. The acting, like I said, like so you watch a movie and you think the acting like this feels kind of cheesy and bad. Like I always say, this film has it. There's some moments with the acting, it just feels kind of dumb and bad, especially like and their characters. Like, she's so one dimensional. She's the angsty teen, so she's like and I don't know. I felt like maybe we could have made her character more complex. I don't know. She just felt so flat to me, her character, and I guess maybe even Jessica's character, like whatever the stepmom that wants to be but accepted, but it's kind of like by one daughter because like the other girl, like she seems like, oh my god, and when she ripped her painting thing, yeah, it was for Jonesy. Makes sense. Jonesy had her rip the painting because up until that point she didn't have any reason to really be upset with her or like to act out. I don't think so. It's dumb. But yeah, imaginary movie review, thoughts, and rating, 2 stars, I guess. We'll give it that, 2 stars. Yeah. It's not good.